Our last prepared speech for today will be Alex Bein. Alex has been with us for almost a year now. He's a polished speaker already, and unfortunately, he grew up with a stepmom who came from the farthest reaches from hell. Those are my words, not his. Today, Alex will stand before you and not talk about how he learned a lot about cleaning or yard work or how best to deal with somebody who he has mutual disdain for. He is going to talk about the fair tax. He will be giving speech number 3 from the Competent Communicator. Alex Bein.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. There are not many universal truths, but there's one that I can assure you. Everyone wants more money. And I know a system that can provide each of us that. Imagine a tax system that allows you to keep 100% of your paycheck. A system that wipes out the IRS, wipes out those complicated, time-consuming tax forms, wipes out those painful audits and their corresponding headaches. The vast majority of Americans would have more money in their pockets while finding a way to tax the illegal underground economy. All the while, this system would boost the American economy while fully funding the federal government. How can this be done? The fair tax. I am going to convince you that our current system needs to be replaced by the fair tax. First, I am going to reveal the current system's shortcomings. Then, I will explain why the fair tax is better. The current tax code has been made extremely complex by the politicians, by the elite, making these loopholes so they pay fewer taxes. This complexity has decreased the compliance in the tax code. The IRS estimates that 40% of all Americans are not in compliance with the tax code. This causes the rest of us to pay 30% more in taxes. Not only is the tax code complex, it is expensive. It costs taxpayers $265 billion a year. That is almost $1,000 per man, woman, and child in the United States. And much more if you're counting just the taxpayers. The current tax code also discourages industrious behavior. If you have to work harder and that takes you into the next tax bracket, it is almost not worth working harder to get not that much more money. So this inhibits economic growth and discourages job creation. The current tax code is also unfair. There is $1.3 trillion in the underground economy that is not taxed at all. There is the ultra-wealthy that don't have jobs, so they are not taxed at the same income tax rate that we are, or they're working class Americans. They're taxed at a 15% tax for. But I'm going to tell you why the fair tax is better. Over 100 congressmen, in addition to presidential candidate Mike Huckabee, endorsed the fair tax. The fair tax is a 23% national sales tax on all final sales of new goods and services. It would eliminate the individual income tax, the payroll tax, the estate tax, the gift tax, the alternate minimum tax, the self-employment tax, and the corporate income tax. It would give a tax rebate on essential goods and services. It would give a monthly rebate for those living under the poverty line. It would lower the tax rate for virtually all working Americans. 85% of Americans would see benefits, see more money in their pockets through this system. If 85% have more money, how can this fund our government? Well, the IRS costs us $265 billion every year. That's flat. That comes straight to us. And then you have the black market. That comes out to it's 1.3 trillion. You you tax that at 20%, that will give you another $265 billion. And you get the tourism. You have 80 million tourists who visit the United States each year. If each of them pays $6,000 per trip, and you tax that at 20%, that becomes $96 billion for a total of $626 billion that is added to our economy, added to our federal government coffers that we working class Americans do not have to pay. There are no loopholes. All Americans pay taxes. It's inexplicable because everyone consumes. Without the hidden taxes, American products become more competitive internationally, helping reduce our trade deficit and turn around our economic slowdown that is current. Finally, it enables families to save more and encourage investments by not taxing them. In conclusion, the current tax code has been manipulated to reward elite political interests, and it hurts the average American. It punishes hard work, savings, and investments. It is time. It is time to adopt the fair tax. By changing the way we fund our federal government, we will become more competitive in the world market, and we will give our citizens a better chance at getting ahead. A better chance at satisfying that universal truth of having more money. Mr. Toastmaster.